What's going on, YouTube world and YouTube tribe? Welcome to LilBigMan Gaming. As the title suggests, this is night 2 review of WrestleMania. Thank you. I like to say, first of all, thank you for joining me on this kind of sort of lovely Monday evening. But yeah, first things first, I could get everybody to hit that like, subscribe, share, and hit that notification button. Also, let me know in the comments down below what you thought of night 2 of WrestleMania. You know, what was your favorite matches? You know, was it good overall? And overall, also let me know in the comments down below how you enjoying the channel so far. Those who are subscribed and the new subscribers alike, love you, thank you, appreciate you. Y'all been doing y'all thing with the subscribe button because we're only two away from 450, and then I'll have a new goal. It won't be a big one like how it was for the 450 goal. I'll probably just do a let's get 50 more to 500, whatever. But that's for later on when we hit that goal. But yeah, I could get y'all just need you guys to help me out with that goal by doing 3 things. I need y'all to hit that like button, watch the video, and hit that share button multiple times. Share with everybody. I mean it, man. For those who are subscribed, share with everybody. Get the channel out there because I'm the hottest, newest gaming channel on the block. Not just gaming. I do reviews. I do reactions. I do it all. But that's it. That's it for selling myself. Little shameless plug. But let's get into it. So we start off the night. Unlike night 1, where there was a rain delay, we actually got a proper intro, and we got a little opening the night with, I think, is Ashlyn Craft. She opened up the night, but that's the usual typical WrestleMania. And then we got the first match on the night, which was The Fiend versus Randy Orton. That was the match they used to open up night 2, and I like how the Fiend's entrance showed him as Zombie Fiend, and then as he was it showed him basically walking towards the ring, and he's transformed into the Fiend. He's like back whole. He's complete. But I think that was just like a little video package, because in reality, he was in this bit Jack in the Box thing, and you had Alexa Bliss come out. She wound it up to start off the Fiend's intro, and the Alexa Bliss, she wound it up, get the Fiend's intro started, and he basically came out. He came out. It was good. It was the best thing I could say about WrestleMania, what made WrestleMania awesome, was just having that live crowd back, because it was just the energy they gave all night. It was the one thing we was missing from WWE, and it really made WWE feel good again to have not just us at home, but the people there too cheering. So yeah, it was a great match. The only thing I will say about the Fiend match I didn't like, that for the build up that this match had, it wasn't even long. On night 1, Drew McIntyre, to open up the show, they opened up with Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship, and that match was longer than this match. This match was too short for the build up, and it disappoints me. And I'll tell you later on when I do the my rating. But in the end, this was one of the, I think, for an opening, especially for WrestleMania, this was a bad opening. Like, it was a bad opening. The booking of this match, like, the match itself was great, but the booking of the match, of it being that short and the way how it went, I think everybody was pretty much ready for this to be the final saga and the Fiend versus Randy Orton. But now, even if it is, they ended it in such a stupid way that they might be trying to do something. Either they're gonna try to do something else with Randy Orton and the Fiend, or they're gonna move the Fiend on to another target. But the match itself was great. There was mandible claws. We had RK. I think we only had one RKO, but I think we had multiple mandible claws attempts. I think we had a multiple RKO attempt too. I'm not totally sure about it, but it was a good match. It was a good match. I just didn't like how they, how short it was. It really hurt the match. It really did. But yeah, in the end, a distraction by Alexa Bliss for some odd reason had the Fiend in the trance, and it would cause the Fiend to get hit with an RKO and pin at WrestleMania 1, 2, 3. Randy Orton is your victor. I can't remember if we had a promo in between that. Oh man, I can't remember it at all. If it was, let me know, because I might like I said, I most likely forgot. But we did get Natalya. The next match was Natalya and Tamina versus Nia Jax and Sonya Blazer for the SmackDown for the women's tag team championships, and it was a good match. The thing I would say about this match was if it was because of the booking of The Fiend versus Randy Orton, this match in comparison was a little bit better, just because this was booked better than how they just did The Fiend. That's just my opinion. I could be totally wrong, but that's how I felt. I felt like every match onward after the Randy Orton match was way better. And I'm gonna put it out there because I probably forget to talk about it, but just to put it out there, this whole perspective of every other match, I really do think that every other match was better than the Randy Orton match versus The Fiend because it just felt the match. Like I said, the match itself wasn't bad. It was just the booking made it just unnecessary at that point. The way you did it, the way you went about it, you even heard the crowd. The crowd was even booing. That match, it was just something about the way you booked it that made that match just like, why then? Like, why? But we're not talking about that. We're talking about Natalya. And it was a good back and forth match. I actually it was not disappointing. I did not dislike it. I actually liked the back and forth between Tamina and Nia, and how they isolated Tamina. Try to focus on Natalya, and Natalya held her own. But once Tamina got that tag, she came in and dominated. They will ultimately retain Nia and Sonya will retain Natalya because Natalya didn't realize that Sonya had tagged herself in, and she tried to put Natalya put Nia in the sharpshooter, but not realizing that Nia wasn't the legal competitor. Sonya came up behind her and put her in the Karakula. I think I'm saying it right, the Karakula clutch, and she didn't even submit. She just passed out. So it was a technical TKO because she passed out, and they will retain the SmackDown Women's Championship. But I think out of the night too, that was the only. That was the only titles retained. That was the only titles. Oh, I shouldn't have said. I probably just spoiled everything now. But yeah, we would get. I won't even finish that statement. I probably just ruined whatever I was going to say else. But yeah, the next match would be. I want to say it was Kevin Owens first. That's how I'm going to go with it. But pretty much, I can't remember what order. But pretty much the next matches were Kevin Owens versus Sami, Riddle versus Sheamus, and Big E versus Apollo Crews. But I'm going to go in the order I most likely remember it being, which was after the Nia Jax match. It was Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn, and it was a great match. We got Michael Cole botches some more calls. He he botched it was just on the tip of my tongue what it was, the Blue Thunder Bomb. he botched the Blue Thunder Bomb. But we did get a Blue Thunder Bomb. We did get some balloon kicks. We got even a pop up power bomb. We got the match was great in itself. I thoroughly enjoyed it. But as I thought it was, Kevin Owens came out as the victor, and he hit by hitting Sami Zayn with a stunner. I would say one of the best parts of that match was when they was in the corner and they just got into a slap fest. They just were slapping the hell out of each other. But yeah, if Kevin Owens would hit Sami Zayn with a stunner to pin Sami Zayn 1, 2, 3. Logan Paul would get into the match to get into the ring to check on Sami Zayn afterwards, and I think he was spouting I think Sami was even telling Logan how he think it was still a conspiracy. He think he was just screwed, where he was really just beaten. And they would get into an argument, a shoving match, and Logan would turn on Sami Zayn to endorse Kevin Owens, but Kevin Owens, not like as he already said, he don't particularly care too much for my boy Logan Paul, who's a Cleveland native. I like to throw that out there. He didn't care too much for him and his brother, and Logan made the mistake, just like it was like a little callback to Stone Cold, little moments with Stone Cold where somebody get overzealous thinking they could just touch Stone Cold, do whatever, and Stone Cold just be looking like, did he just really just, and then Stone Cold be like, you know what, yeah, stunner, and Kevin Owens, a little callback to Stone Cold. Kevin Owens did the same thing when Logan raised Kevin Owens' hand. Kevin Owens was just like, did you just touch my hand and raised it? And he was just, and Logan just like, yeah. He just like, you know what? Yeah, man, you know what? Give me some. And he's like, you know what? Stunner for your troubles. And that's how they ended that little segment. That was like one of the funniest parts of it was that Logan was trying to endorse Kevin, and Kevin ended up just getting stunned. Logan just ended up getting stunner for his troubles. I think I forgot to mention too. What led up to that was after Logan pushed Sami down and Sami got out of the ring. He said, "Screw both of them," and walked away. And then that's when Logan grabbed Kevin Owens' hand. We would get Then I do know that's why I don't. Yeah, I think I'm right. Kevin Owens was the match right after Nia Jax, because I remember that Matt Riddle's match was right after Kevin Owens. So yeah, it would go to Matt Riddle versus Sheamus for the United States Championship, and that match itself was good too. Like, it got brutal at times. Like, I won't lie, like I was thoroughly entertained. Sorry about that. I was thoroughly entertained by that match. I was thoroughly entertained, and there was a lot. I think he got bro kicked. I think it was 2 bro kicks. I think he got bro kicked in the beginning. Riddle got bro kicked at the beginning and at the end. But I think the first one he kicked out of. I think Riddle hit the bro Derek. And I think he hit some more of his moves, but it got brutal, and it was a good back and forth. It could have went either way. At least in the beginning part, it could have went either way, and still at the end, it could have went either way. But I kind of sort of had a feeling who was going to win, and that person was the winner. I think Riddle was going for another bro Derek, and Sheamus would bro kick him in midair, like right in his mouth, and pin him 1, 2, 3 to become the new United States champion. And I think they said this is his third time as United States champion, and And I want to highlight too that Matt Riddle was busted open after that too. Like, not like from the head though. He was like busted open from his lips. But yeah, Sheamus is the new champion. We will also then came the Big E versus Apollo Crews for the Intercontinental Championship match and a Nigerian drum match. Which is basically just a street fight match, but with a Nigerian thing. But the match was good. I enjoyed the little performance with Wale. I think the only thing I was about to say about that was I think towards the end of his performance, he started lip singing. He was really rapping at first, but then he started lip rapping. I think towards the end, I think they just had his audio, and it kind of got caught because he didn't have his mic to the phone, but he still heard his voice. But I have no idea why would they do that, because with Rhea Ripley's entrance, the lady who sings her entrance, she sung it all the way through. You know, you heard her. I don't know why Wale only did half of it, and then the other half was just basically his pre-recorded stuff. But I don't know. It was weird, but yeah, I enjoyed the little entrances, and then I like that they use somebody. I'll get to that in a minute, but they had a big back for. I like how Big E would go to Corey Graves like, he asked for this, Corey. He asked for this. And then they was like, come on, show me what you got. And they went back and forth jarring with each other. They used everything. At one point, Apollo tried to hit Big E with the steel steps, but Big E would move out the way. They used the kendo sticks. They throw each other into the drums. But ultimately, in the end, Apollo Crews would set up Big E for a splash through the table, but Big E would move out the way with Apollo going through the table, putting himself through the table. Big E would hit the big ending, which should have means that he was about to retain the title. But out of nowhere, now I've been wondering what this person been, and we all, if you watched it, you know who I'm talking about, Daba Kato. They finally used Daba Kato here, and I'm guessing Daba Kato just like what they did with Omos. Daba Kato is Apollo Crews' right hand man, and I like that he paid homage to Umaga when he did Umaga's Samoan Spike. It took me a minute. When I think about Umaga, I try to remember what I remember most about Umaga. That was his his Samoan thumb to the neck, his Samoan Spike, which looked like that's going to be his finisher. I think he had the Samoan Spike and he did a one-handed choke slam. So it looked like it's going to be the Samoan Spike and the one-handed choke slam. That's what he did to Big E. And I know y'all was like, did he really just do? I'm like, yes. I went, nah! But yeah, he did the Samoan Spike and one-handed choke slam to Big E to allow Apollo Crews to get the pin, and he is now your new Intercontinental Champion. We will go to Rhea Ripley versus Asuka. That would be the next match, and that was a brutal match in itself. Like I said, this is where we got the second performance. Or I think this was 3 performances because you technically had the opener, Wale, and then you had the lady who performed. I can't remember what the group name was, but it was basically the people who performed Rhea Ripley's entrance came out to perform it, and Rhea Ripley came out. You had Asuka coming out. That was a great little intro, but yeah, the match was Rhea Ripley lived up to her name, being that she was at her moments of greatness on the match. She was brutalizing Asuka, taunting her, but Asuka is Asuka for a reason. And Asuka came back with her offensive. She had Rhea Ripley reeling at times, and they both had near pinfalls where it looked like both of them could have won. But in the end, Asuka would get hit with a riptide from Rhea Ripley, and Rhea Ripley would pin Asuka 1, 2, 3 to become the new Raw Women's Champion. Let's see what else did happen here. I think we had like we had the Hall of Fame class of 2021 taking the stage. We had we had another appearance from Titus O'Neil and Hulk Hogan. I forgot they also was at the beginning of the show, just to put it out there. They did open up. We wanted the people opening up the show too. Then they came out here then to get a final appearance, and then they would get interrupted by Bayley, who then Bayley would get interrupted by Bayley came out and said how people was not giving her the respect she deserved, and she made them hit the pyro for her, and then they would end up she would get interrupted by the Bella Twins, who would tell her would say ding dong goodbye, and I think she got a right which knocked her down from Bree, and then Nikki got involved too, but they ended up beating up on Bayley, and Bayley would end up was laying on the ground as both Titus O'Neil and Hulk Hogan and the Bellator said ding dong goodbye again. Then we get to the final match of the night, which was Edge versus Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan for the Universal Championship. And now, in my tribal chief voice, the match itself went as expected. I am the tribal chief. I dominated. Yes, they hit me with chairs. Yes, at times it looked like Edge and Roman Reigns was gonna. Edge and Daniel Bryan was gonna beat me. And yes, at one time it looked like I was going to tap out to the crossface from Edge until Daniel Bryan came in. But in the end, what did you expect was going to happen? The tribal chief won by way of spearing Edge after Edge gave Daniel Bryan a concerto. I ended up spearing him, and I put him on top of Daniel Bryan, and I pinned both of them to show my dominance. And yes, maybe Jey Uso is the reason why I'm still champion, but it doesn't matter, because that's what I do on the island of relevancy. Now acknowledge me as the champion. But yeah, that's how the match went. It was a good back and forth match, a great match to end the night. But in the end, Roman would get the pin. I wanted my boy Edge to win, but unfortunately, it would not be. Roman Reigns is still your Universal Champion, your Tribal Chief, and he still runs SmackDown. If I would give this show anything, I'd give it a 9.5 because it was a 9.5 big up just because it was a great show. The only thing I had a problem with, the only thing that was a disappointment was the Fiend versus Randy. Had that been what it would have got a perfect 10, but I give it a 9.5 just because the night was great, but the Fiend versus Randy Orton match kind of was a letdown because it didn't go long enough. It didn't pay off anything. It just left more questions and just left it just left me with a why. Why put us through this long ass booking for that type of finish, But that's it. That's all I got. You can hit this button right here. You will get all of my WWE reviews where you could go check them out from beginning to now. If you have any questions on any of them, let me know in the comments down below. Or hit this button right here because the Tribal Chief, who is still the Tribal Chief, demands that you acknowledge him by subscribing to the channel. Let's get to 450 subscribers. Or hit any one of these amazing videos for more amazing content. The Tribal Chief is out. I will be back with some Batwoman review. Till the next one, peace.